Welcome back to Whitt Acres. I just got some new plants in the mail for the aquariums. It is a beautiful day out and I'm planning on doing a video up on the homestead, but I just got this box and I want to get these plants opened up. Huh, Pop? We'll play with your ball in a little bit, bud. The quicker I get these plants open and in water again, the better chance I have. The pond's in the shade right now. It might be a good time to actually feed the fish. We'll be right back, fish. Come on, pup, work's to do. So we're gonna head into the fish room and see what plants we just got. And I'm gonna have to go up and let Mumbles and the ducks out soon. Come on, buddy. All right, let's see what we have here. This is supposed to be 30 stems and at least 8 different species of plants. You ready to help unbox, pup? You wanna see? Is it safe? Oh, you better check it out. Good. All right, I see some green. That's a good sign. What do you think, Pop? Looking pretty good so far. Looks like they're sealed in a plastic bag, so they're staying moist. Now, these came from Aquatics on Amazon, but these were actually a gift from a fan, so thank you very much, Hollyhock. Now, most of my aquariums are naturally escaped, so it's going to be really nice to finally have some more plants to add to them. So I'm going to grab a bucket of fresh pond water so I can get these rinsed off before I put them in any of the aquariums. Gotta pop out here to the pond real quick. Excuse me, fishies. Don't want to scoop any of you up. That's probably too much. I don't need a full bucket here. That should do it. Hold on, pup. It's not playtime yet. Alright, now we can see what we have in the bag here. Looks like some of the roots have fallen off, maybe a few leaves, and that's expected because shipping the plants is pretty stressful on them. The first clump here, I'm not really sure what it is. This could be an Amazon sword plant. This next one I have put in the aquariums before. And this one actually looks like an Amazon sword. They do have different types of sword plants, so it might be both of them. Now, these didn't come with a list of what they are, and I can't identify all the aquatic plants. But I believe this is another sword plant, definitely a larger variety. And this next one I think is a Java fern. I believe this one needs to be tied to wood. It can't actually be buried into the substrate. And now this last little plant here kind of has some squigglies at the top of some regular leaves. I'm not really sure what this one is, but it's pretty identifiable if you do know. I'll be able to do some research on these and figure it out. But this one also seems to have the style of root that needs to be tied to something and not buried into the substrate. So I'm going to have to do a little bit of research on these before I plant them, because not all aquatic plants are the same. They don't all go into the substrate. But I am going to put them all into this fresh water here, try and rinse off any of the debris and any of the hitchhikers that came along with them. Now, I think that was all of it, but I really only got 5 different species here. There is a root mass right here. I'm not sure if that'll grow something anymore. We could try it. And then this is just some more leaves. Might have a little bit of root ball on those. But the rest of this is just mush leaves. So if that root ball actually grows something, I'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different species. I got shorted. That's not cool. We still have to get these planted though. Now, for which tank I'm going to be planting into, I don't think I'm going to be planting into the big Oscar tank here because they are known for eating plants. And this tank is going to get a big remodel because it's not even a natural scape yet. It was just an emergency setup tank for a tank that was leaking. Huh, bud? You're enjoying it. And he didn't come from a natural scape, so he doesn't know what he's missing yet. Huh, pup? You trying to play ball? And over here in the turtle tank, they really got into the soil. I don't know if they were chasing those minnows that I put in there, but they really stirred it up last night, so it's still trying to clear out. I put some fresh filter pads in there, so I'm hoping that clears it up today. But the turtles are also notorious for eating plants. Hunchong. So they really just have plastic plants in here, but I do add them floating plants, but they actually eat all those ones too. But as you can see over here in the Oscar tank, they just keep filling up with floating plants, so I can transfer some more over. So that leaves me the option of the guppy bowl, which has some pothos growing out of it, and the roots really reaching around the bowl now. But I also have some hornwort in there, and I also have salvia minima and duckweed floating on the top. And over here we actually have a little clump of java moss. So I might hold off on the guppy bowl for now. Over here we have the double stack aquarium rack. We have some tropical fish in the top one, and then we have a catfish and a frog down here in the bottom one. Both have pothos growing out of them and are natural scape, so I can add some more plants in here. I can't think of the name right now, but you can see I have one of the plants already in here. I'm just gonna go ahead and turn the lights on for you guys. Might scare the fish a little bit. There we go. Alright, so you can see that plant in there that I just got. We have some in this tank already. Hey fishies, we have a gourami in here and some platies. We did lose some platies, and that's going to happen because it was a fresh tank, and there is some Java moss still growing in there. That's good to see. I want that to take off. But real quick, we do have a gourami in this tank and a few platies, and I actually just saw a baby platy right there. Hard to zoom through glass and water, but we have a baby platy swimming around right there. I don't see the German blue ram. I'm afraid he might have been lost as well, but I have seen him here. I just don't see him right now. And I'm pretty sure that we lost the Beischer. I have not seen him in a long time. But it was a fairly new tank whenever I added all the fish, so there can be some tribulations whenever it's seasoning out. But the older the setup gets, the better it's going to be to take care of the fish. Of course, this one is filled up with some floating plants. I can take some of these out for the turtles and the outside ponds. And down here in the frog tank, the Salvia minima is doing amazing. It's like a thick mat in here. It's actually blocking a lot of light from coming down into the tank. I think the catfish and the frog like that. Hey buddy, you're getting massive. We're going to have to move you out of this tank. No. We are going to have to move you, even if you hide. Unfortunately, we also lost one of the frogs if you didn't get that update. We had 2 frogs in here and they were mates, but they both escaped out of this tank and I was only able to find one. Huh, guy, do we need to get another frog friend for you? But by the looks of this tank, it could use another plant or 2. But my oldest tank and the centerpiece of my fish room is actually my angelfish tank that holds Scar. This is my oldest tank and I do want to put the majority of the plants into this tank. Let me get the lights on. We have a lot of floating plants on the top of this one too. I can pull some of these ones out, let some more light down through whenever we get the new ones in. But I have had other plants in here whenever I set it up, and this is the only one that's actually survived. And Scar the angelfish is pretty hard to live with, so he's actually alone in this 29-gallon tank. But maybe once I get some more plants in here and some more hiding spots, I'll be able to add some more critters in here. He just likes hunting, and he's pretty good at it. Huh, bud? Now the tank down below Scar's tank is the quarantine tank, so I'm not going to be adding any plants in this one because it doesn't have an actual substrate, it's just stone. But I do have floating plants in here because they're not going to get in the way of me trying to catch any fish out of here. And I have a pothos growing because you got to put a pothos in pretty much every tank. Now the only thing living in this tank is some snails that hitchhiked on the plants and some freshwater Daphnia that I just added. And it's been really hard to see the Daphnia since I've added them. There's one. But I'm hoping the freshwater Daphnia start colonizing in here and start producing more babies, and I can actually scoop some out of them to feed the other tanks. There's always a lot going on, but let's try and get these new stems planted. Hey, I'm gonna take a moment to feed the fish here before it gets dark. Hey guys, you guys ready? I'll feed you off the pier today. Come on. Water's a little low right now. Oh, and it's getting cold. There's some big fishies right there, huh, Pop? Ooh, they splashed me. A little tail whip. Oh, buddy, you can't drop your ball in there. You trying to catch a fish, bud? You baiting them. You want to play with the fishies, Pup? We got some bigger fish in there. You can see them now. Old dabbles. Calm down, bud. Keep your wings in. Chasing the girls around. Why, you like watching the fish, Pup? Me too. You do feed the fish less whenever the weather cools off, so I'm going to have to watch how much they eat and try not to give them too much here as the weather's cooling down. But I am going to be putting in a bulk order of feeder fish so I can fill up this pond for the bass before winter comes. And then the bass can fill up its belly too and hopefully not eat my koi this winter. Huh, guys? Huh, Pop? Alright, well, it's been a couple days and I haven't had the time to plant these plants. So where I have the plants right now is in this bucket of water that we got out of the pond, and I have this bright light on them so they stay fresh. But now I'm going to get these planted, and I did decide to put them all into the 29-gallon tank where Scar is. And that's because this is my oldest tank I have set up, and I want to get some new plant life in here. If I can get some more plants in here and some more coverage, I might be able to get Scar's from friends. Huh, bud? Would you like that? I think so. We have the top pretty much covered with some floating plants. I already took a handful out of there the other day to put in the turtle tank, but I want to take a little bit more out so we have more light in the tank whenever I put these new plants in. And I'm not too worried about cutting back dead leaves in there. We have a natural tank. Those are going to decompose in there. I just need to get some snails and some other stuff in here that'll help along with that process. I am going to pull out that dead fern root though, and this planter rock that's not getting used anymore. And once I get this water daphnia down here to start colonizing this tank, I'm going to try and pull some out and spread it around the other tanks. But so far I haven't seen any since I put the bag in. But anyway, I'm going to pull some of these floating plants out of here, probably put them over in the guppy breeding pond, and then we can start planting. I'm pretty much just going to use these long tweezers to put everything in. Hump up. Alright, well I got the whole package planted in there. I was really hoping that more stems came. All the other pieces in there don't look too healthy, but the plants that I did get in here look pretty healthy. The one on the right here I believe is the Amazon sword. And then down in here I noticed this one could be separated apart, so I split it into 3 little groupings here and I put them all together so it had the biggest impact. Hopefully that's going to survive and fill in the middle spot here a little bit better, but I believe that's the Ludwiglia. And the one plant that I already had in here is an Anubias. This one that I can't quite recognize might be a water sprite. Behind that next to the heater I believe is the Bacopa, and I know the one back there I put on the stick is the Java fern. And then on the back side here I put that root ball that didn't really have anything growing off of it. It just had that little green leaf and I'm not really sure what that is, but I buried that in the substrate and we'll see if that continues to grow. But this is going to be a slow process. For all you impatient people, this isn't going to go quickly, so I'll give you updates whenever there's a noticeable change. But it already feels good to get some fresh plants in here. And the rescue fish are still doing well over here. Real soon I'm going to be moving them out. And I moved around a lot of the floating plants, so the turtle's got a bunch in here. Bud, just sticking your head right out. Gone. And they're hard to see when the turtles start jumping around, but there are minnows in there. And a bunch of turtle scales. There's a minnow. I think that's going to be all for this one. It's about time to let the birds out to free range, and I need to get some projects done up at the barn. If you want to keep following along with everything here at Whitt Acres, make sure to subscribe down below. Hit that like button before you leave, and you can see me and Echo on the next one. Thanks for watching.